It is pretty crazy to think that we're only up to the round of 16 in the Australia Cup this year, and this has already been one of the most memorable Australia Cups to date. Round of 16 predictions. Let's jump into it. First of all, we've got Newcastle Jets, Macarthur FC this coming Sunday. The only All A-Leagues matchup in the round of 16. The Jets, they defeated Western United in the playoffs 4-1, and then 2-1 against Rockdale, a game that a lot of people predicted Rockdale to get a big cup set win there. They're top of the NPL New South Wales, but Jets really dug deep, especially in that second half, did well to hold on to the win. And there's a bit of optimism now after a couple consecutive wins in the cup for Newcastle Jets. Yes, they still have a very young squad, potentially looking to make some more signings in the transfer window. And they're coming up against the Macarthur side who defeated O'Connor Knights in Canberra 2-1. Again, it came pretty close there for the Bulls, but again, some impressive performances, especially from some of their new players in that game. The likes of Luke Bratton, Mariakalish in that performance as well. You look at Macarthur's lineup and there's certainly more experience there, maybe a little bit more quality as well. This could be a close one though. This game being played out in Maitland. Newcastle, they generally draw pretty decent crowds out there as well. They played Brisbane Roar in the cup there last year also. This could be close. This one easily could go to extra time. I think Jets, though, with a couple consecutive wins in the Cup, could get the win here at home. I'm going to go 2-1 to the Jets. Then following that game on Sunday afternoon, it is South Melbourne FC taking on Olympic FC. This is a really, really fascinating matchup because, of course, South Melbourne, we saw them defeat Wellington Phoenix, the A-League side, in the round of 32, 1-0. A really solid defensive performance, especially in that game. The early goal was enough to get them through to the round of 16. Olympic FC, for them, they defeated Apia Leichhardt 1-0 in the round of 32. And I mean, that itself is a pretty big win for Olympic FC. And coming up against South Melbourne, who have been one of the best NPL sides in the whole country for 2024 this year, top of the NPL Victoria, winners of the Doherty Cup this year. There's just so much momentum, you sense, building behind South Melbourne. And the way that the bracket looks at the moment, the draw, we know the pathway to the final. There is a serious opening for South Melbourne if they can get over Olympic FC here. It will be a test for them. They will need to make sure that at their best, like they were against Wellington Phoenix. South Melbourne, I'm tipping them to win in the end in this one. I'm going to go 2-0 to the home side. It's another trip to Queensland for Western Sydney Wanderers. They defeated Brisbane City in the round of 32, 2-1. It was a close one in the end. They're taking on Lions FC. Lions FC, they grabbed a big win away in WA. They've defeated Perth Red Star 4-1 and have a really, really exciting matchup here against Western Sydney Wanderers. Lions FC, one of the top teams in NPL Queensland. They'll be up for this challenge, man. And Western Sydney Wanderers, again, another one of these teams that I think are still sort of figuring things out for this new season. A couple new signings have been made in the past few weeks, and I'm sure there will be some more made in the coming weeks as well. They have been pretty quiet in the transfer window up to this point, Western Sydney Wanderers. So there is an opportunity for Lions FC. They'll be looking at what their fellow Queensland team, Brisbane City, did against Western Sydney Wanderers and say that there are maybe some weaknesses there to exploit. Western Sydney Wanderers, you just look at the quality that they do possess still at the moment, though, even though they are maybe still building their squad a little bit, they should have enough to get over the line in the end. I'm going to go 3-1 to the Wanderers. It's an all-Victorian matchup in the next game. Hume City, FC Melbourne Srbija. FC Melbourne Srbija from the third tier Victorian football. An incredible win in the end to get over Modbury Jets on penalties in the round of 32. It's a dream run for them at the moment. And hey, if they could get through the quarterfinals, it would be one of the stories of the Australia Cup in its 10 years history. Hume City, though, I mean, we look back to 2015 when they made it to the semi-finals. They're going to be hoping to make a similar run in 2024, and they'll be backing themselves to get over FC Melbourne Srbija here. Hume City grabbed that big 6-0 win away to Darwin Hearts in the round of 32. They, of course, are capable of scoring goals, as we saw there in that game, and should be favourites heading into this game. I mean, I say that, but hey, we'd love a big cup set here, and it certainly would be if Melbourne Srbija got the win in this one. Hume City, though, I think they'll be too strong in the end. I'm going to go 2-0 to Hume. Olympic Kingsway of Western Australia are hosting A-League opposition. It's Adelaide United, the three-time cup winners. Olympic Kingsway, what a test this is for them. They defeated Edgeworth Eagles 4-1 at home in the round of 32, and it is one of the biggest games in their history, taking on Adelaide United. The Reds got over Blacktown City City 3-2 in the round of 32. That game, of course, went to extra time, and it looked a little bit nervy at moments for Adelaide United, but they did come through in the end, and they'll be hoping to dominate and score early here once again against Olympic Kingsway. Make sure to keep any chance of the cup set out of the question, and I think they will have enough in the end. Adelaide, again, there's maybe question marks in terms of how they're lining up and what sort of personnel they're playing. Some question marks maybe in midfield for the Reds. It was a good performance in the end against Blacktown City, scoring 3 goals in the end. And again, interesting to see what happens up top, whether it's Jovanovic or whether maybe Archie Goodwin's fit to come into the side as well. The Reds with plenty of options there in terms of the lineup. I think regardless of how that team lines up, they should have enough to get over Olympic Kingsway in this game. I'm going to go 3-1 to the Reds. Next up, NWS Spirit from Sydney taking on Melbourne Victory. Melbourne Victory, they grabbed a big 4-1 win away to Lambton Jaffers in the round of 32, while for Spirit, they grabbed a 3-0 win over Tasmanian side Glenorchy Knights. A huge occasion once again, as it always is, of course, for these NPL clubs, but Melbourne Victory, they've built such a formidable side for this upcoming campaign. We saw the quality that they showed in that Lambton Jaffers game and were really formidable in front of goal. Lee, the new young winger, was really impressive on that right-hand side for Melbourne Victory, and we'll be looking to get more game time in this matchup as well. I can't see this one going the way of Spirit, unfortunately. I think Victory just have too much quality in the end. This would be a huge cup set if Spirit were able to get the result in the end. Victory, though, I think they get through with a clean sheet. I'm going to go 3-0. Moreton City Excelsior taking on Perth Glory, and there could be goals in this game. We look back to the round of 32, Moreton City defeating Campbelltown City 5-1, and Perth Glory, they have been the talk of the town at the moment in the A-Leagues because they have been exciting fans with their high-scoring performances. 4-2 win in the playoffs against Brisbane Roar, 5-4, one of the games of the cup so far against Melbourne City. That 5-4 game was truly chaotic, but the way that they've just been scoring goals for fun, they're a really hard team to stop at the moment, Perth Glory. I mean, out of all these A-League sides, we're commenting on a few of them and how they're still sort of building maybe their sides for the new season, still sort of figuring things out in terms of personnel, formation, tactics. You feel like Perth Glory is one of the sides who sort of have things figured out already. David Zrilic has been there for a couple months now and has really built an exciting side. There's some exciting youngsters who have been in great form. Both Abdul Faisal and Nathaniel Blair, 2 new signings, already have 3 goals in the cup so far. So this I think Perth Glory should get over the line in the end. I think it could be a fun game to watch though. Potentially plenty of goals in this one. I'm going to go 4-2 to Perth Glory. Arguably the most anticipated matchup of the round of 16. Oakleigh Cannons, Heidelberg United, and all Victoria matchup. What a game this will be. First of all, let's have a look at their meetings in the NPL Victoria this year. We look back to February, 1-1 draw between the two sides. Then in May, Oakleigh Cannons getting a 3-0 win in that game. They also met in the Doherty Cup final last year as well. Oakleigh Cannons winning that game 3-0 as well. So it is the Cannons who do have the edge over Heidelberg United just in the last couple of years at least. Of course, both of these teams grabbed huge cup sets in the round of 32. Oakleigh Cannons was so impressive in that 3-1 win against Sydney FC. They just outplayed them in the end, especially in the second half. There could have even been more goals for the Cannons. And Heidelberg United 3-1 over last year's A-League champions, Central Coast Mariners. The way Heidelberg United defended in that game, they were just so resolute, so solid at the back. They defended as a team, and they're going to be really, really hard to break down in this game once again if they defend like that. Of course, Oakleigh Cannons, we know they made the semi-finals just a couple of years ago. Again, they'll be wanting to replicate that performance here. Heidelberg United, they have experience when it comes to the round of 16. They've made it to the quarterfinals on 4 occasions. This is really, really an intriguing matchup and probably the toughest one to predict from the round of 16. For me, though, I'm going to predict goals. I'm going to predict excitement. This one could easily go to extra time. I'm going to go Oakleigh Cannons 3, Heidelberg United 2. But this one could easily swing either way. Guys, drop your predictions for these games in the comments. Which match are you most looking forward to as well? Because there are some really, really fascinating games coming up in the round of 16. Stay subscribed to the Coastwood Football YouTube channel for all reaction and news when it comes to the Australia Cup. Thanks so much for watching. My name's Lockie. This is Coastwood Football, and I'll see you in the next one.